you are healing. The poison is now released, and you are learning to love God first and then love yourself.
I can't right now.
Okay.
Welcome, my little woody Geminis. Happy New Year, 2020, and all that sort of thing. My name is Leslie. Welcome to Savvy Star. I am a spiritual healer, tarot card reader, and I validate what you already know. This reading is for the full moon that is in Cancer, and it is a little bit different energy than the sun in Capricorn that we are experiencing right now. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button for future videos. We obviously are entering into a new decade, and we are also entering into a new 12-year cycle in the Chinese astrology, in the Chinese culture. And next week I will get into more about that, so don't forget to tune in to my future videos there. So let's get started with you. The full moon has a little bit different vibration. It is a 212 vibration for you, Gemini, which means for the next couple days, it's not the same influence as it has been this whole month. But for the next couple days during the full moon, it's a 212, which means you have a lot to learn from the influence of this full moon, which is in Cancer. Okay, so your very first card is the Three of Swords, which means whatever you have been balancing and trying to keep balanced, even though it hasn't felt good, and you know that it has been difficult, it's now over with. The poison has now been released. A decision has been made, whether you actually made a decision or your indecision was actually a decision. So whatever you have been balancing for a long time, which was not working, but for some reason you felt like you had to keep it together for maybe the relationship or not to cause an argument, kind of walking on eggshells, the poison has now been released and a decision was made, and the healing can now begin. And that is a very, very positive thing for the new year as well. Like the healing has started, and whatever positive steps you are taking, this is very good, because you've let go of trying to balance something that was never for you to balance in the first place. We take on certain things sometimes for different relationships. It's okay. What was making this difficult, I think, was this is the Three of Cups, and this was, I think you were looking for some sort of marriage maybe with a person, and you were trying to balance out their half of the relationship in this card, and I think that you just let go and decided to hold up your end of the bargain and saw where that fell. And we'll see, right? All you can do is hold up your end of the bargain. You can't make decisions or control other people's actions or words, and we'll see what happens. I think you snuck away. I think that you decided there was probably an argument around this marriage card. I think that that's what caused all this heartache. I don't know if it was you that wanted to get married. I don't know if it was them that wanted to get married. But like I said, you decided to just hold up your end of the bargain of the agreement and let the chips fall where they may for this discussion or this act of marriage. Because love is an action. It truly is an action. You can say I love you, but the only way that you can truly know if someone's lying is if their words and actions match, right? If their words and actions don't match, then you know they're lying. But sometimes what we do is we want something so bad that we want to argue about it. We want to point out that they're wrong and we're right. This person may have said that they wanted to get married, but their actions didn't say that. So when you stopped holding up their end of the bargain and just held up your end of the bargain to see what their actions were going to be, maybe you saw that it wasn't. I think that I'm not saying you didn't want to argue, but I think you chose not to argue in this situation, and I commend you for that. You're just letting that little dragon sleep, and you're sneaking away from the argument, which I bow down to you, because I know that that's not easy. It's not easy for Gemini because they are an air sign, and it can be uncomfortable. But, I think what you're going to find, and what this other person is going to find, is that the Seven of Wands, now that you've done that, now that you've stopped protecting that other person, or you stopped holding up their end of the bargain for them and for you, you're going to see just how many people want you and just how many creative opportunities you actually have. You're actually going to have to fight off people with a stick, so to speak. When you stop protecting the other person from, when you actually say, hey, okay, I guess you don't want this, but I do, and you start looking for it, you'll see how much competition is really out there, and you'll probably have to fight it off with a stick. And that's kind of a fun position to be in for a little Gemini. The Ten of Pentacles. So in the meantime, you're working really hard. Work. You're filling all this time that you used to spend on balancing the other side for the other person. You're putting it into your work. Instead of arguing about what they didn't follow through on, you're listening to their actions instead of arguing about what their actions are saying. You're just working, and you're just setting yourself up really beautifully. The Ten of Pentacles, you're working hard, and you're gaining traction, and you're laying down foundation, and you're setting up tradition. And then you have, so in the meantime, you're working hard, right? You're working hard, you're not arguing. Geminis like to argue a little bit. It's just for sport. It's not because you really like to argue. It's just because it's a verbal interaction. It's like banter. It's, it's like mental sparring. And we, being an air sign, you like to do that. You like to feel somebody out intellectually and see where they stand. Like, you certainly can't be with someone that can't mentally keep up with you. And certainly arguing or banter, it kind of flexes that muscle. So with all this work, you're going to have to find one other thing to fill the space while you're healing, because this healing is very important. This healing is all about your journey of self-love. And that's really what this is all about. It's really about you. It's really about you learning to love you. Love God first, and then love yourself. And don't let anybody in between that. You can love people after you, but don't put anybody in between you and God. And sometimes you'll find yourself with a little extra time on your hands, and you may get a little bit bored, and you're all, maybe I should call that person. Don't get bored, okay? Because this card shows that sometimes you're all, yeah, I'm doing so well, I'm like loving myself, but don't get bored. Don't fall back into where you just came from, where you just are healing from. Don't go back into holding up both swords for each of you. You just are responsible for holding your own sword, okay? Don't get bored and go back. don't get bored or feel sorry for this person because now they see all these people want you, because it will spark some jealousy with them. When they see, what? All these people want this person? What? That was mine. Yeah, keyword was. So, don't get bored and go backwards, okay? Remember, you have so many blessings in front of you. And stay busy, because you do like your material things. The emotional part is coming. But don't get bored emotionally and go back to what you already know doesn't work, okay? Don't go back to what doesn't work. I guess maybe that is a little bit of the lesson. It's familiar. So the full moon in Cancer, it is a lesson for you. And it is about emotions. And you have to say to yourself, does that make me feel loved or unloved? And if it's unloved, don't go in that direction, okay? If it's unloved, don't go in that direction. If it makes you feel loved, yes, go forward. But don't get trapped with someone's words, because someone was leading you down a garden path and promising you something that their words and their actions weren't matching what they were saying. And so that's where the argument came in. So I'm really proud of you for not arguing at all and just filling your time with work and attaining the things that you want in life. Because you will meet somebody through your work or through, whatever dynamic. The Wheel of Fortune, you have to endure it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. It encompasses it all. And you have to lean into it. You have to lean into this card, because it's good, it's bad, it's beautiful, and not so beautiful. And you have to embrace it all. But through this all, you are healing. The poison is now released. And you are learning to love God first and then love yourself. And it is a journey for you of self-love. It's a journey for all of us of self-love. But you've got to not focus on the destination so much on this card and enjoy the actual journey. Okay? And it doesn't have to always be perfect right now. You can just enjoy where you are in this journey right now. It's really important. Other people see you working really hard, okay, the Pentacles, and it looks like there's two different jobs going on here, if not more. Maybe you have another business as well, but either way, you're working real hard. You don't have to take a lot of downtime. You fear solitude, but don't be afraid of it. But don't stay in solitude too long. I don't think that is actually a really good place for you right now. I think that there's downtime. I think that there's meditation. But being an actual hermit without any social interaction is going to push you to feeling negative and bored, and maybe going back to something that is toxic and poisonous for you. So don't give yourself too much solitude. Like, give yourself some meditation, give yourself some spiritual healing in the morning and the evening, and then get on with it. The High Priestess I see her as like a little moon card. She's got a moon in there, a little crescent moon. There's a new little secret brewing with you. Some very fertile ground. I'm not saying that you have to be pregnant per se. You could be pregnant. Getting pregnant may be something that you'd like to do. But it's a journey of self-love, and these fertile things will take root. And the high priestess, she's got your back, and she knows your secrets, and she knows your dreams, and, you know, she will work with the universe with you to make it all come to fruition, for sure. But your most important card here, I feel, is that the poison is now lifted, and the healing has begun, and the self-love and that journey is really important. And this year is going to be a very, very busy year. And Gemini love to be busy. They're witty, they're intellectual, they love different stimuli, they can juggle a lot of things. That's great. And so it's a new decade, 2020, and it's also the new 12-year cycle in the Chinese astrology, and that's very exciting. And there's, for Gemini, it's important that you keep that, you know, a pen and paper next to you at all times and write things down. Make notes for your book. It's going to be an exciting time. And tune in next week for my Chinese astrology as well. So I'm really excited about this. Enjoy the full moon, and also enjoy the Capricorn sun. Bye, Gemini.